Good morning, friends. We are back out at the beach on this foggy, cloudy, I don't know how much sunrise we're gonna have, but even without it, I just saw a pod of dolphins swim by. So there's gifts even when it's not the big, bright, beautiful sky like we had last week. And there's still that beautiful, peaceful sound of the ocean consistently coming into the shore. So this week's about joy, and it occurs to me this week I had an interview with a woman named Kyle, who's with a group called Just a Little More Joy, and it was really timely with this week being our joy emphasis for Advent. And it occurred to me, as we were talking and even in my study before, that joy is a choice. Joy is connected deeply to gratitude, which means we get to choose it, which means it's independent of our circumstances, of whatever else is going on in the world, whether there's grief and horror and illness and pain or not. We can still choose gratitude, whether we get the big beautiful sky with all the painted clouds or just sort of this grayness. And that's good news, that joy is a choice. It doesn't require there to not be, or for the end of pain and suffering, and that can all still be there. There's room for that too. And maybe this isn't a revelation to you, but to me, I used to make fun of people that were happy. I used to think it meant that you couldn't see all the pain and suffering. I used to think it meant you were dumb. Like, how can you be happy in the midst of all that's wrong in the world? As if there had to be supreme justice, the kingdom come before there could be any sense of joy or happiness. I'm learning a new way. One that's big enough to hold the joy and the grief. One that's big enough to have space for the gratitude that produces the joy. Even when the world is all gray and we can't see that bright, beautiful sun we know is out there. It's big enough to have justice, hope, and reality, and it doesn't wait for the world to change to suit it. So you can be happy and joyful no matter what else is going on. You can live into that joy, even when there's grief. You can live into the peace because of the trust. I want to live into hope without or regardless of or in spite of what the world does. Can't beat them? Don't join them either. There's another way. And to me, this is what the gospel talks about over and over again. This is what Jesus talks about in all of his stories, turn the other cheek, go the extra mile, the prodigal son, the Good Samaritan. All of it is about choosing another way, that things don't always play out. In fact, maybe they rarely do the way the world tells us that they will, or what's right, or how to be successful, or whatever your definition of, what's supposed to be. And this gospel, this message, this sunrise, this Advent season invites us into a different way. Not because everything's better, but because we can be better in the midst of it. We can choose joy not because it's easy, not because the world says so, but because it's a choice, and you can step toward that. It's yours for the taking. What a relief. We don't have to wait for or manipulate or convince some external thing to happen for us to have our joy. A joy that we're invited into, whether it's bright and beautiful or kind of muted and gray. Joy is ours. Friends, my hope and my prayer for you is that trust that seems to make no sense makes itself available to you, and that peace comes from that. That gratitude comes easily to your lips and facilitates the joy that comes with that. That hope shows up when it makes no amazing sense at all. When everything seems lost, that hope still shows up. That when the darkest day comes, we know the light still comes too. May you see this, may you witness this in your lives. And if we get a shot at the sun at some point, I'll be sure to share it. Grace and peace, my friend.